everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Bet with Brit. I am your host, Brittany Chantel, and thank you guys so much for being here with me today. We're gonna get right into it. It's a lot of stuff going on in the league right now that we need to talk about. We'll start off with something light and airy, something to look forward to, and that is that Joe Burrow is back. He recently had his first day back on the field, and he is looking good, doing one-leg passes and really doing his thing. They had a volunteer workouts that he showed up to. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins were obviously not there, but Mike Gesicki, who used to play for the Miami Dolphins, was a really nice tight end. I liked Mike Gesicki. So now he's with the Bengals, so he was doing some work with Joe Burrow as well, so that is promising. He's been in the league for about 7 years, so that's a great veteran addition to add to the locker room. As far as Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, I think it's pretty obvious why the both of them aren't there. I don't know if Jamar Chase is. I'm assuming that they're trying to work out a deal sooner rather than later, so that way he's gonna show up to training camp. But when I'm not sure if he's on the. It's a battle. Okay. It's a battle. Nobody's really trying to move right now between him, CD, and Justin Jefferson. To be quite honest with you, I think CD will go first, then Jamar Chase, and then Justin Jefferson. That's how it should go. Now, as far as them really wondering, and I'm just saying, like, the looks of things, because Dallas is going to want to get their cap situated. They got Dak on tab. They got Micah Parsons that they most definitely got to pay for. And then they got CD. Micah Parsons is looking way too comfortable with CJ Stroud. And, they have Will Anderson over there. So they're kind of like locked in that position. But Micah Parsons will more than likely go over there as opposed to CJ Stroud coming over there to the Cowboys. So, to be quite honest with you, they need to get Micah situated. They really need to get him situated and taken care of. They said that they are working on a deal for Dak right now, which is good because Dak should be their quarterback. He's gone 12-5 the past 3 seasons. This is the problem, that they get bumped out in the first round. But he's not meeting the expectations of America's team. But they're not built to make it to the Super Bowl. They're good to have a nice looking regular season. But when it comes to them dogs in the playoffs, it's hard for the Cowboys to compete. They don't have a solid running game. Tony Pollard was not enough. And I understand with the cap situation, they had to let Zeke go. But then when you just have Tony Pollard, he is not your 1-2. He's not your force. He's to come and clean it up after Zeke would do all the dirty work. And so Zeke's gone, or he was gone. Went to the Patriots. That wasn't doing good. I think he I think he averaged 3 yards a carry, if I'm not mistaken. So the Cowboys were able to leverage that regarding their cap, because that's why they couldn't get Derrick Henry. They couldn't even call Derrick Henry, even if they wanted Derrick Henry, because Derrick Henry was putting tweets out saying that he wanted to be a Cowboy, even though he signed with the Ravens on a 2-year deal, which is great for him. And they're gonna need him. They need a big, massive tank like Derrick Henry, and you have Lamar Jackson. You have to worry about Derrick Henry coming out the backfield and Lamar Jackson either throwing it deep or short to Likely or Mark Andrews, or just taking off and booking it for 30 yards easily, man. And Zay Flowers, I absolutely love Zay Flowers. I know he's probably hard on himself about, don't even worry about, I'm not even going to say it. Don't even worry about it. Because it's a learning lesson. He was balling out. He was balling out that game. And I really feel like he thought, ooh, I'm about to cash this in. And it's so, you know what I'm saying? And defense wins championships. You know what I'm saying? Because that play was sensational. It was sensational. But we'll see what is going to come out of this Cowboys situation. I understand I have a jump, but this is the first episode. We're going to kind of get everything in line, right? But now, okay, so we have, this is also want to mention, it's just kind of been reported that the Cowboys are interested in Najee Harris from the Pittsburgh Steelers, because you know the Pittsburgh Steelers did not pick up that 5th-year option for Najee Harris. And I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. Now, obviously Najee is going to be your primary, and Zeke is going to, I would think, just coming off of like stats from the prior season, I would think Najee would be the primary, especially because youth as well. And then Zeke. So that, and then you'll have like kind of Rico Dwaddle in there to kind of see how that goes. So if they're able to get that done, we'll see. But then what the Pittsburgh Steelers gonna get in the back end, because I mean, you got Russ, but you need because it's Najee Harris and this is like Jaylen Warren, if I'm not mistaken. And Jaylen Warren is nice, but they're gonna need something more, especially like Russ can't run like how he used to, so they're definitely gonna need like a solid running game. So we'll see kind of how, if that plays out. That's something that's kind of being reported, but we'll see how that goes. Also, okay, so we're gonna kind of jump back to the Bengals. I have my notes on here, right? But when I was kind of preparing for this, something just told me like, you just need to do it, right? So I was just kind of just jotting down some notes. When we get into this next episode, I'll be more organized. But that's okay. That's okay. Y'all are gonna grow with me as I get my feet wet more with recording and being in front of the camera, getting input and communicating, all that good stuff. Y'all know what I'm saying. Then y'all will grow with me. So thank you. Now, Tyler Boyd signs with the Tennessee Titans, which is nice. I like Tyler Boyd. Now he did have some key drops when Jake Browning was in as quarterback, taking over for Joe Burrow. He did have like some key drops, not like him, because he was always a solid like number 2B3, and I say that because you technically had two number ones on the Cincinnati Bengals with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase came out booming, right? And T. Higgins was kind of like your solid. He would be silently going off, but Jamar Chase, as he should, was getting like a lot of light because Jamar Chase is that boy, you know. But Tyler Boyd, he had was it 67 receptions on 98 targets, 666 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Now, the previous 2 seasons, he had 5 touchdowns and about 800 or so yards. So his production did go down. Now I'm gonna just kind of contribute that to Joe Burrow going out, kind of getting the feel for Jake Browning. T. Higgins was getting a lot of stuff, and they were doing like a lot of like short passes with Tanner Hudson, so they were really focused like on their tight ends, and kind of running the ball with Joe Mixon, which, I mean, Joe Mixon is gone now, which we kind of knew that just because of some off-field stuff that was going on, and he even took less money to stay there that season, so, or this last season, so wish Joe Mixon and Tyler Boyd all the best in their new destinations. So exciting. In other news, which I didn't feel like I really wanted to discuss this, especially when it initially happened. And I'm speaking about Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice. And when the information came out about the accident, I didn't feel a need to, well, number one, I make no video on it, but I didn't really want to discuss it because, you know, there's no excuse for it, for those actions when you're recklessly driving on a highway. There's no reason for that. And I understand that people do make mistakes, and he most definitely is going to pay for that in numerous ways, with the lawsuits from all the people that were involved in the accident. The league is going to give their own type of punishment, so you can expect for him to be out for at least 6 games, and then I'm not sure if any criminal charges are going to come from that because you leave the scene of, or fleeing the scene of an accident. I don't really know how that goes. And then they said that marijuana was found in there. I'm not sure if if weed is legal in Dallas. I'm not sure. He is in Texas. I'm not sure if it's legal. So put in comments, y'all. I don't know if it is, but what I can say, and which, even if that is, somebody needs to take the fall for that. I mean, somebody needs to take the fall for that. Okay, he doesn't need to. He already has enough. And I'm not advocating people lie, you know, to the police or something like that, but where your real friends at? Because I mean, you already dealing with enough. I mean, it was the rental in his name, and then they drive in his other car. So it's like he knew it was gonna come back on him. Even though it's the rental, and he texts the owner of the rental company to let him know he was involved in an accident, and then they left his other car. So I had to make sure I recorded. Child, we ain't even gonna get into it, and it was muted. Anyways, so in all that to say, people do make mistakes, understandably so, and he's gonna have to pay for that. Now we're in another situation. It's being reported that a photographer was allegedly assaulted by Rashee Rice outside of a Dallas nightclub. Now, the photographer the police were called. He went to the hospital with non-life-threatening, injuries. He was released from the hospital, not going to press any charges, anything like that, right? But reports did come out from the newspaper there in Dallas. So, however that happened, right? Not really knowing the backstory behind that, probably people, I don't know. Now, the major thing is that, and now it's the off season. You want to go out and enjoy, have a good time. You're coming off a Super Bowl win. You're really technically the number one receiver in Kansas City, which OBJ, I don't know why you decided to go to the Dolphins when he's going to be out at least 6 games. So you're looking for more production. But anyways, we'll get to OBJ. But now you run the risk of going out in the very same city, which I'm assuming you have to live there. Your vehicles are there, so that's where you live. But you go out, and now you get into an altercation and your name is in the paper again. Regardless if criminal charges are going to come from it, the league is going to use that against you as well, because it's like he just keeps getting in trouble. And you have to watch your surroundings, where you go, the people that you have in your circle, because to be quite honest, if something like that would have happened to my brother, who's actually pursuing a career in the NFL, so this kind of story hits home to me because it's like that could be him. So in this case, if that was to happen and he had a similar situation like that, I am so sorry, but you need to go and sit down. You need to let this die down. No nightclubs, nothing like that. And you don't want to be a recluse being in your house, but you need to get your mind right. Your mind doesn't need to be on going out. Your mind needs to be on getting ready for the season to start whenever it may start for you. That should be your main focus. Training. I understand you don't want to be, worried about these cases that's going on, okay? But now you have gone out, because obviously you can't stay in the house. And whoever's around you should be like, hey, man, like, we should just chill. You know what I'm saying? Like, let this die down. But, I do wish him all the best, because he really was coming into form. And when he does come back, he is going to be the number one technically. I mean, unless they try to make something happen, because you have Sky Moore, who really hasn't come into his own like you thought he was. Xavier Worthy, but he's a rookie. You obviously have Travis Kelce. You have a solid running game. You got Andy Reid. So they'll be able to make it happen. They'll be able to make it happen whenever he does, until he comes back. So Rashee Rice, please, my brother, your family needs to tell you. You just need to chill out. You know what I'm saying? You need to just go somewhere remote or something. Like, maybe it's a change of scenery. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe you need to get, maybe something in the water in Dallas, and you need to get up out of there. Because back to back, speaking of back to back, Kung Fu Kenny, he actually had the back to back. The man is sensational. I know everybody's kind of talking about it, so I'm not really going to get into it. But, man, why would you wake that man up? Why would you wake the man up? But, yeah. Y'all, so this was a great intro to what kind of the formatting is going to look like. I understand it was kind of like all over the place today, but that comes with just growing and learning and kind of doing what feels right, what looks good, and let me know. I want to hear from you guys, what you guys think about the discussion. Do you want me to have more in-depth kind of get into it? But right now, it wasn't much stuff kind of going on this week. I can get into like predictions and whatnot, but I kind of wait to once we kind of see how mini camp is going, and then kind of into preseason, and now kind of get into predictions. But we still have so much time to go with like trades and free agency, so we'll see exactly how this goes. Oh, and happy birthday to Alex Smith. I used to be a Kansas City fan, I told y'all, so happy birthday to him. But on that note, that is the end of episode 1. I'm not sure how this looks. I'm telling y'all, how I have this whole setup going is a little riggy. It's rigged. There's another word that goes in front of it there, but I can't say it on YouTube, but it's rigged. So I can't even see my face in here, which I know the YouTube videos I watch, you want to be able to see. Listen, I just needed to make this video because I have been procrastinating. So however this video may come, I'm going to learn from this and grow. But let me tell you something. This video is going to get posted. And we are out. Love y'all.